Hey, today we'll predict the future of 2019 for medical devices. And we'll go through two axes. I will describe a future in terms of technology and a future in terms of regulations. So let's dig in. Hello, my name is Mounir El Azouzi from easymedicaldevice.com, and today on this podcast episode of Medical Device Made Easy, so we will talk about the future for medical devices. What kind of future are we talking about? There is the future in terms of technology. I will show you exactly what kind of technologies are popping up or are continuing to improve, and also which regulations will change or predict to change for the near future. So let's go on now. First, on the technology, what I wanted to share with you is about the digital health and connected devices. So as you may know, we have a lot of devices that are now used to predict maybe some of our health. We have, for example, the iWatch from Apple. We discovered that it's registered within FDA, so it's something that was surprising for everybody. But it's mainly because they are using an algorithm to detect the some heart disease. So it's really important. This was really a big improvement for the industry because this opens also the door for many other devices that can also be considered as healthcare devices, and also registered as medical devices within the different regions. There is also a lot of devices that are using Bluetooth that are on your skin, for example, and are connected in another device. For example, for diabetes type 1, there are some devices that are also tracking what implant you have, which called, for example, bone track. So there is a lot of those devices that are used to connect between a device and your mobile phone or anything like that. So this is really at the limit. This is something that is really making the life of regulators a bit difficult, because at the end they really don't know if this is a medical device or not. They have really to think about that. So it's making life a bit difficult for them. Then we have if I can say, the technologies that are collecting a lot of informations, as the one that we just talked about. Those technologies are collecting information, and we need to analyze those information. This is called mainly big data. So we have tons of data coming from the different devices, the different questions we answer, the different things that we are doing with our watches, with our all the devices which we are using, which are tracking our health, for example. So then we have to use those data to maybe define what is the risk for the population. So there is a need now of a big interpretation of those data, a big tools to analyze them, which opens also the door for some kind of cyber security, which is also a bit scary, if I can say, when you are looking at some movies that are where some hackers can disconnect one of your pacemaker or this kind of thing. So it's really something that is scary. So cybersecurity is now becoming a real item for medical devices, and we have really to talk about that and to be prepared for that. FDA already released a guidance for it, so I will put that on the show notes just for you maybe to read it. What is also important with the big data is all regarding some database that we are using to collect information. Now there is a new tool, or you heard about it, so that is used. Primarily, it was used in the cryptocurrency, which is the blockchain. So the blockchain is a tool, or is a way to secure your data. How to do that? Your information is not stored only on one computer, if I can say. It's stored on many computers. So it means that you cannot disrupt the information, or you cannot hack it unless you hack all the computers that are collecting your data, which is nearly impossible. I would not say impossible, because it's always possible. It's just maybe time for that. But this technology is really helping to avoid any hacker or any information to be stored or to be modified without your permission. So this is something that you maybe hear a lot in also the future. Then we have also with this data analysis, the artificial intelligence, AI, which is something that I know you heard about it since many years now, with iRobots, with iThings. So there is a lot of movies that we are talking about that. But we are really improving on that, and we are using this technology for image recognition, for example, during radiology, where we have to define if there is a cancer or not. So it's really a big support for the radiologists. It has been proven that it cuts the reading by half, if I can say. So it's also good for the radiologists, because they have support to help them, and also for the patients, because there is less recourse, if I can say. So people that are diagnosed without a cancer when it has a cancer, or with a cancer when it has no cancer. So it's really, really important. Then we have also some technologies that I talked about also on my blog, so about 3D printing. So 3D printing is a way to manufacture products. This way is made through additive manufacturing. So when I'm saying additive manufacturing, it's the same as 3D printing. So additive manufacturing is by addition of layers. So instead of taking a bar and removing some materials, we are taking some powder or some raw material, and we are creating and adding some layers. So it's mainly why we are calling it additive manufacturing. So this technology is really, really important to create some kind of custom devices. But have to be clear on that, it's still not considered as a custom-made device. I mean, it was considered as custom-made device with the Medical Device Directive in Europe, but now with the new Medical Device Regulation, it's not considered as a custom-made device, because it's still mass production. So I will just link also my article on 3D printing, so you can understand why a 3D printing product is not a custom-made device. With this technology, with 3D printing, you have now also bioprinting. So bioprinting is the same as 3D printing, but with instead of using ink or plastic or metal, you are using cells, so bio ink, if I can say, to create some elements that will be used for your organs, for your body, some tubes, some cells to reconstruct, etc., etc. So this is also a technology that is increasing and will come really in force in the next few years. So you have to look at that. We have also the telehealth or home care. So what is also improving is the fact that we are trying to not cure or heal people in the hospitals. We are trying to do the emergency things in the hospitals, and then we are asking them to go home, and we are using some home care devices, telehealth devices, to follow the patients, because it costs less. And also because some people also like to be at home and not to be at hospital for recovering. So this is really, really important. So telehealth is also something that should be secured. Cyber security is important, because we can then store the data that are transmitted from a patient to a doctor. So you have still this cyber security information to have with this telehealth. Okay, I think for the technologies, it was the part that I think will be really growing. Why I'm saying that is because mainly what I'm talking about usually is about regulation. So I'm talking about innovation because I think for regulators or people that are following the regulation, they also need to know what is coming as new technologies, because it will become more and more difficult to think old school, if I can say, with the old mindset when you have new technologies coming. You still have to improve the regulations so that it can also link to those technologies. So for that, you should also learn what are those technologies, where they are coming from, what it is exactly, what is the risk for it, so you can really do your best job, a good job, if I can say, when you have to define if this is a medical device or not, if there is a big risk or not, etc., etc. Okay, now we are going on the regulatory part. So for the regulatory changes for 2019 and 2020, and we can say until 2025, if I can say, because really there is a lot of things coming for the next few years. First, we have there was some documentaries that were coming in force that were also putting a spot on the regulations. So for example, the bleeding age that was issued by Netflix, which was talking about the weaknesses of the regulation in the USA, so FDA. And we have the implant files, which was issued by a consortium of journalists, and talking about specifically the European Union medical devices regulation. Specifically about the MDD, because it's still the one that is in place, but not so much about the MDR. Then we have, as we have these things coming, it's important for the countries to also update their regulation, and it's what they are doing anyway. They didn't wait for all those documentaries to come to start the update, so it's what we will highlight today. One of the first things that I want to mention is about MDSAP. So MDSAP, which is the Medical Device Single Audit Program, started there is some countries that started now to have it as mandatory. Since January 1st, 2019, any companies that are selling products to Canada should be MDSAP certified, or have a proof that they have initiated their certification for MDSAP. So this is really, really important. So if you are selling your products to Canada, don't forget to have that in mind. Or if you have a plan to sell your products to Canada in future, this is really, really important. And what is linked to MDSAP is the ISO 13485 version 2016. We have currently a transition to it until March 2019, sorry, because it was issued in 2016 with a transition of 3 years. Then you have to finalize your transition until March 2019. And it's important because this ISO 13485 version 2016 is also included in the MDSAP program. So if you are following MDSAP anyway, you have to have the version ISO 13485 2016 on your quality management system. Then you have information for FDA. FDA start to modernize its process called 510K, which is a process to register products in the US. As I said, it was also something that was noticed on the highlighted on the bleeding edge documentary. So I don't know if this is the consequence of this documentary that they are updating that or wanting to update that now or not. Yeah, no information on that. We have also in the next few months, because I don't know exactly when it comes from, when it will come. It will be the ISO 14971, which is the ISO for risk management. So there is an initiation now to update this ISO, which is an important ISO also for the new quality management system ISO 13485. Because the ISO 13485 is really based on risk. I can say it's risk-based. So the risk part, which is the risk that you will define with the ISO 14971, will be really important. So any change, I don't know if the changes for this ISO will be important, but any changes for this ISO need really to be implemented on your quality management system just to be really compliant. Then we have a big question mark. The big question mark is on the Brexit. So for those that don't know, by the 29th of March 2019, UK will not be anymore part of the European Union, and there was a lot of speculation about that regarding what about the notified bodies that are in UK, like BSI, what about all the products that are sold in UK, like medical devices that are already sold in UK, what to do with all this? So it was really a big question. Will it be the same? Will there be changes? Will it be forbidden to sell to UK when we have a CE mark, etc., etc.? So what we learned, and I will put that also on the show notes, there is a guidance that was issued by the MHRA regarding if there is no deal with the European Union regarding medical devices. And if there is no deal, there is, I read it quickly, and it says that products that are already sold to UK with the CE mark will continue to be sold to UK for a few time. What time exactly, I don't know, but it says for a few time. So we'll have more information about that, I think. I will try to get more information about that. And the last point, and the famous point, if I can say, is the preparation for the EU MDR and EU IVDR. So we talk about that since a long time now. This is something that will come in force in 2020 and 2022 for IVDR, but countries still have to prepare for that. Don't think that it's too late. I know that we say all that it's too late, but it's better late than never. So start now, do your job, ask questions, what we can help you with, because really it's important for you to start, because if you don't do it, your business is dead. So let's say that, unless you say that Europe is not your biggest market, it's really a small market. So yeah, maybe then you can say a lose of European Union is maybe not a big lose for you, but you have to do that. The thing that will be interesting for me looking at the EU MDR is about the non-medical devices. As I've told you, the Article 16th is saying that there is some products that are now considered as medical devices. I would be really interested to know the situation of those companies that are selling those non-medical devices, if I can say. So devices that are more aesthetic or devices that have no medical purpose at all, but are considered as medical devices, like the famous contact lenses, which are just used to color the eyes and not for the vision at all. So what are those companies doing? Are they starting to prepare? Are they knowing that they have now to be considered as medical device? It's really a big question mark for me. So I think we made a round of all this. So I hope that that you will agree maybe, or maybe disagree, I don't know, with all those predictions or things that are coming. If you have more things that you think are coming, so please don't hesitate to put some comments on the show notes. I will put you the links for the podcast for exactly where you can put your comments, and don't hesitate. I would be really happy to hear from you. If you see also some new technologies that are coming, I would be really also interested. I can maybe also interview some people for you about those technologies so that you can be also aware. As I've told you, it's really important for you to keep learning, to keep understanding what are the new innovations, so you can be ready to answer questions, and also to not be surprised and see that, oh, I didn't know that this is a medical device, or this can be a medical device, etc. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I will see you within the next episode. So thanks, goodbye.